Hello, everyone. This is episode 4 of Faked Up, where it's Alex and myself and Panos trying to make sense of AI, seeing what the value is, seeing how it works, seeing if it does work at all, whatever. And where we are is episode 4, and we haven't posted a single episode yet, but that's going to happen shortly. So you can all be joining us on our journey. The news is we've lost Panos. So in our mission to make AI accessible and useful to small business owners, we've lost the only small business owner who was involved. So now it's just me and Alex, but we're coming up with some ideas about how this could actually work. So maybe it would. What do you have to say about that, Alex?
Yeah, we lost Panos because we decided to schedule the podcast at his busiest time of day. So I think once we've made some traction and we have actually released these, so if you're watching these, this is kind of relevant to you, but maybe a couple of weeks old already. But thank you for watching it anyway. Yeah. We will have figured out our format, and we will have figured out exactly what it is we're doing, and we will be providing value. So right now we're in the experimentation phase, just exactly like the AI industry is. So I think we're on par with where we want to be. We have an idea. We don't know if it's going to work. It's exciting, and it's a bit messy. So I think we're on track.
It's lies. It's lies that you're talking about. Like, our mission is to show people how to get value out of AI if they're small business owners. And the only small business owner who was involved is gone. So we've failed and we haven't posted anything. So these are all going to get posted. And I think we have to commit to posting these before next week. We're going to have to change this software because I haven't even been able to download it to upload it to YouTube. So the ball's back in your court as far as that's concerned. And yeah, but we will change the software, I think, to something that's better, because I don't think this is good. I've done some work on this. I can show you why I think it's terrible, if that's useful and if it's useful for everyone. Shall we talk about the format? If I share my screen, now this is going to be very raw because I've spent so much time dicking around and so little time actually doing stuff. So entire screen, I'm going to share my entire screen. I mean, this is interesting because you can see what I have been doing a little bit with, whoa, that's
the
not
Matrix.
good. So let's put you over there. And now, what? This is the issue with Riverside. Why is it showing me that again? That's like from 2 weeks ago. So let's, oh, no, because that's this week's. You see, I could have cancelled that and then we'd have lost this week's as well. Good, right, so I'm not cancelling that. So you are seeing my screen. So this is one thing I've done that I'm really quite pleased with. I've made myself all these little icons for my drive, for my local drive. This is stuff I have to carry with me. This is my photography stuff. This is where I put all of the junk that just mounts up on my thing. So now all of this will just go in the tidy thing like that. And my desktop is tidy again. Do you see? It's beautiful, isn't it? It's beautiful. So I'm happy with that. That's me. Yeah. Well, this is something we need to talk about. But we can talk about that. The other thing we need to do is we need to make these into like segments. So we should run timers, I think. So a segment should be 10 minutes. So we'll run a timer and then we'll know when we've got to the end of a segment. If we get to the end of a segment before the timer, then it's just a shorter segment. Are we agreed with that? Is that cool? Okay, good.
Agreed.
All right, so let's start the 10 minutes now. Okay, so so I have been doing stuff, even though I'm not ready, but I think maybe this is the way it's going to be. This is where we are. Let's play this with the brand. Okay, so this is, what I did is I spent about 2 hours trying to get ChatGPT to make the F the same color. And I couldn't, and I can't show you easily now because ChatGPT is just a well of, like, how do you find stuff again? So this is where I got to. I found a young man in the Philippines who's a graphic designer, and I got him to kind of redraw the splodge behind, which I quite like. So it looks, and he hasn't quite finished. He's going to, make it more like the shape of this thing. But here's a question for everyone who's using AI, which is, when is it finished? When is it finished? Like, when do you have a logo and that's your logo that you're going to have? Because then I thought, I wonder if ChatGPT can animate this just in the last 20 minutes. This is why I'm not ready. And so I put the prompt into ChatGPT. I don't know if you want to see it. Can you animate this? And it's like, yeah, I can. And then what it did is it came up with this. Oh, no, not that animation. But it's come up with this new version of the logo, which is better. apart from the F's the wrong color again, isn't it?
It's really like incorrecting or, yeah, messing up the F. Yeah, it looks like
Messing
from
up the
that show,
F, yeah.
Is It Cake?
I don't know the show Is It Cake? Is that really a show?
Yeah, it's crazy. They just like make a handbag, and then is it a real handbag or is it cake? And it's just the dumbest TV show ever.
Oh, it's a TV show. I've seen it on YouTube in YouTube Shorts.
Yeah,
I quite like this. Do you like this? And then
yeah,
what
I
it
like it.
did is it animated it, but I don't think you're going to be impressed with the animation. Do you want to see the animation? Like, and this
Of
is
course.
different again, isn't it? It's different colors. So this is what the animation looks like. Which brings us back to our question, then when is it finished? Because where I went from here is I'm sorry I've got this horrible animation on my slides. It's like, because we're going to have segments now is the idea. So we'll talk about an AI win. We'll talk maybe about an AI fear. We'll talk, I've put together a scoring system for different apps that we've discovered. So I discovered Love Art this week. I think you did as well. And the week
Super.
before that, I discovered Gamma. And so this is our scoring. So the idea is like not like this, but then we can just go and say, okay, what do we score this out of 10? That's a 3. But now it doesn't like that thing. So that's a 3 and that's a 5 or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So we can actually have a scientific way of scoring these things. Now, when we get my broadcasting working, then you and I can be here, like our smiley faces will be beside this. But maybe what needs to happen is we need to be above it, because I'm thinking, how are we going to chop these up for the future? So my proposal for the segments is we should talk, if we've got something to talk about, AI fear. We know that they are trying to scare the shit out of us with AI, but I grew up with the nuclear threat, so I'm not very scared. And then I grew up with the climate threat, so I'm really not very scared. So there's that. Now you're looking at all sorts of different things. Now I've closed my window and I'm not coming back. So we should talk about the scary stuff, scary, like ideas of scary stuff. I saw a thing where some idiot from Silicon Valley was like, we're going to need 99% of the energy in the world for AI by 2030. So that's kind of scary that these things are going to suck up all the energy. And then I saw somebody else saying, we need to, what do we need to do? Give us your energy, good energy, bad energy, recycle energy, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And then I saw somebody talking this week about permissions, like giving permissions. Like, these agents are all great, but if you want to book a holiday, you have to give it access to your bank account and to your internet accounts and to your credit card details and to your passport and all this stuff. So it seems to me like that's an accident, like a disaster just waiting to happen.
But Sam, I think in one of the interviews, Sam Altman did say it's like, yes, it can do these things, but we don't suggest you do these things. I mean, that's not exactly the quote, but I'm pretty sure it was something along those lines where it's like,
Yeah,
yeah, we've created the functionality, but I don't think you should give it access to your, credit cards and
no.
bank accounts.
Yeah, and I don't think you should either. But then what's the point of an agent? It can't do anything until you give it permissions. And this is also my point about the whole thing, is that which is, it doesn't matter how clever it is, it's about what you allow it to do. And these idiots are going to give it the nuclear code. It's going to happen. And then it's going to be like, one day somebody's going to be like, who's good people? People who like sausages or people who don't like sausages? And it's going to go, well, 52% of people like sausages. 48% of people don't like sausages. Democracy's good. Let's bomb the people who don't like sausages. That's what I think. That is 100% what I think. So while
Sounds
we are
about
just
right.
talking about the format, I'm not ready. I mean, I have got, so let me show you, they're not on this thing, but here, these are all the different things I'm working on. I have got here untitled. So this is all the titles. The one I missed out on is news. So AI fear, AI find. So this will be when we discover something that we want to share. AI win. AI fail is a lot of fun. Like ChatGPT's been a proper dick to me this week, and I want to share that, but it'll probably only be next week. Fail mail is where we'll give people the opportunity to dial in and get involved. AI think is if we want to get a bit philosophical, if we want to do that. And the AI challenge is obviously the thing. And then these are just kind of evolutions of the logo that I've been playing with. The one we want to add to this is let's add.
Still love the fact that you're colorblind and you're the one doing our branding. This is just the best thing ever. It's so faked up.
Yeah. It's completely faked up. Yeah. Completely faked up. But I quite dig it. I quite enjoy it.
It's really
because you
cool.
know what
I
I'm
don't know how
doing
you
is
see
I'm
it,
just
but it's
going
cool.
like dirt. It's not difficult, is it? Dirt.
Yeah, it's
dirt.
good.
So yeah. So this is where we've got to with the logo is kind of looking like this. I really like this now. But the thing
I'm not
is,
sure of
this
the
is
colors,
exactly the
but
point.
otherwise, yeah, it's cool.
Well, I've obviously got no idea what color it is. So yeah, apart from that, but then what you want to do is you want to have consistency in your headings, and what the one thing it can't do is consistency. So
Yeah.
we can't just say we love this. Please make the F the same color as the other, because you're going to lose 2 hours of your life, and you're not going to have the F the right color anyway.
I mean, there's
Do you
definitely
see?
a way to do it. It probably comes into the prompt, and I could try and figure it out maybe as a task for next week, but it has to be doable one way or another. But we'll see.
This is the point. This is the point. The point is it actually easier, quicker, simpler to do this? Because I rolled over on this after I did 2 hours, and I've been paying some
Yeah.
guy in the Philippines to do it. So we're $21 in, and this is where we've got to. And I've asked him to tidy this up. I still quite like this. So the question is kind of twofold. Firstly, is it quicker, easier, more cost effective to do it using AI, or is it easier just to employ somebody? Well, like I told you, my effective marketing business, it took me 8 years, 7 years to come up with a logo that I actually liked. And we've come up with something now in 4 weeks. And, it's like,
I think it's the 80-20, right? So you get 80% of the idea like it's there, and then the 20% still needs to be polished by a human. And I think at the moment a lot of things are like that, where you can do the MVP, but you can do a bit of the research, a bit of the strategy, a bit of the groundwork, get to a point where it's like, I think this is it, and that really speeds up like tremendously. But then it's not like, well, it depends who you are, right? Because then you can see some videos that are coming out, which you would say are like production ready, and depends on the standards you're after. But
I think this is the value that we're going to add to the world. This is
Yeah.
the value that we're going to add to the world, is we're going to show people and this is the point of the challenge, is like, if we need to get this thing done, is it actually more cost and time effective to get it done using AI, or are you better off just doing it yourself? I think this is the value that we're going to add. So,
You know what I think though? It's subjective to also the skill level. So like, for example, for me, and I can't even spell Photoshop, right? Using AI to generate an image vastly increases the time decreases the time and increases my efficiency to getting something that's usable. Whereas before I would have had no starting point, it would have been like Microsoft Paint or whatever. So I think that really helps. But then if you are like a branding expert or someone who's really good with Photoshop, it might actually just slow you down, and you might just use it for a mood board. So I think it's still at the point where AI is a really, really awesome intern. And if you don't know anything about graphic design, you've got an amazing graphic design intern. That's really useful. But if you're like a head of brand and you've been doing it for 10 years, an intern is useless for you.
yeah, but here's the thing. Now I'm getting flashbacks to when we used to have interns in our business, and I would leave them formatting a presentation, not formatting, literally formatting a presentation, make this look tidy. And I'd come back and they'd rebranded the presentation. And that was like half the time I had to get before I had to deliver the presentation. Do you know what I mean? So maybe
that's
it
exactly
is.
AI. It is now. AI
is
is
exactly.
artificial interns. It's not intelligence. It's interns. It's artificial interns.
It's not intelligence. It will just do whatever it feels like doing for the afternoon because whatever.
Scrolling on
But
TikTok
this is
and badly branding stuff.
But this is also what I think is like. So this idea. So we need to decide. Is this the way we grade things? Is the accessibility, usability, pricing, directability, reliability, and evolvability, are these the most important 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things? Because I think if we are going to add value, then it's going to be testing these things so that people can see, is this worth my time? Because the one thing, like Panos, bless him, that small business owners don't have is time to dick around with these things. And we are blessed because we do have time to dick around with these things. So this is how we're going to add value to the world. Is it? So, for example, we could say like the logo is a function rather than a thing, or we could talk about love art. You know, the video I watched for 50 minutes about how amazing it was, and like press a button and here's all your merchandise and do something else and do something else. And when I went there, it wasn't anything like that at all.
No.
You know, it wasn't
Yeah.
anything like that. So this is the value that we can add is we've got time to dick around with these things, decide on whatever the criteria is to judge it, and then be actually judging it, I think. The thing went off because I forgot that I'd set a timer. So that's a segment.
Yeah, I was
We're
gonna
done
say
with
that.
that
Okay,
segment.
cool. So let's get into
Okay,
this.
but
So that segment was like, what the fuck we're doing, or what the fake we're
that
doing.
segment was like the fuck we're doing, what the fake we're doing, yes.
Yeah, what the fake
it's
are
all
we
a bit
doing?
faked up. Yes. Okay, good. So what's the second? So if you do a,
So let's
what is
start
it
with
you
some
want to talk
news,
about?
maybe. I'll go through a couple
Okay,
of
but I
news
haven't
things
got
I
news.
found
Wait.
out.
CV. Oh, I can't edit that. That's an image. AI. Yeah, I can't do it. I'm going to stop sharing. I thought maybe I could do it, but I can't. Next week, because this is what I'm getting the guy in the Philippines to do now is put these splats behind. So here's, to just end this, here's the issue, is that this is useful as part of a brand. We can replicate this. We can repurpose this. We can evolve this. This isn't. Because every time we ask AI to do something, it's just going to come up with something completely off brand. So it doesn't
This
have
reminds me
the
of Art Attack.
consistency. Art
So
Attack. Yes. Art Attack. Yes, Art Attack. I met that guy.
it's only old people will understand that reference watching this. So if you're like, I don't know,
Yeah.
mid
Okay.
30s upwards, you'll remember Art Attack. Okay, cool. So some AI news, maybe I'll jump into that. So I'm not going to go too deep into it, just some stuff I found that's interesting. So Amazon acquired a company called B, which were creating these like AI wearable wristbands. So what's weird is like, imagine it's like a Fitbit. It costs, I think, just $49.99, whatever, $50, and you wear it like a Fitbit. But what this thing is doing is recording every single conversation that's going on in your life and creating like a transcript from it and
Yeah.
giving you like summarized notes. And I mean, I didn't look too much into it because I just heard about the acquisition. So I guess in a way that's cool so that you never forget what you're doing and could be pretty funny to revisit it after a heavy night out. But all in all, if people start wearing these things and Amazon makes them even cheaper, like 20 a pop, and then it's literally recording every single person everywhere. So now I'm going to a bit of speculation, but that is way too much data for Amazon to have. And how does it store all of that? I guess it's like recording it and transcribing it, so it's turning it into minimal amount of data. But I mean, the amount I talk per day is already going to take up, I'm sure, a few, well, maybe megabytes, not too much. But anyway, that was something interesting. So I'm curious to see where that goes. And they already have
Yeah.
100,000 users, apparently.
Shit. Right. And now we have an AI news thingy, like just like that. There we have it.
So that's one
It's
thing.
not quite right.
Another
That's one thing.
one is
But let's
that,
talk about this because I've seen
go
this
for it.
also, and the Google glasses are out again, and so what we need to do in future is do a better job. We can have the clips ready and stuff. I'm going to have clips ready to support what I'm saying, so we don't have to say I saw this thing they said. But literally, she walks on stage with these glasses on. She looks. There's some shelves behind her. And then she looks forward, and then she's like, "Oh, Google, can you tell me? I can't find my hotel key card. So where is it?" And he's like, "Oh, it's on the third shelf on the thing next to the blah 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 blah."
Wow.
And she turns around and it's there. And then she's like, "Oh, what was the name of the book on the second shelf that's about money or something?" And then Google's like, "Yeah, it's this thing." So there's a Black Mirror episode, isn't there, where everyone has the chips in their mind? You've seen that one?
I've seen them all, yeah.
Yes. And they have to rewind and go through like,
Yeah,
yeah, so it's like exactly precise. So I think that's Black Mirror stuff. Honestly, I'd prefer to forget 99% of what goes on in my life. I'm quite happy to forget 99%. So yeah, I think this is Black Mirror stuff. But this goes to something else. So there's a book. I can't remember the name, but I will have finished it by the time we speak next week. So I'll be able to tell you. It's a woman who grew up with these people, and she's been reporting on AI for like 10 years. And she's talking about the fact that the AI we're getting now, She says it's like if we all had jets, then of course we'd be able to get around quicker. But that's not going to improve the traffic situation because we're all just going to be in the sky. And her analogy was essentially, basically we're giving everyone rocket launchers to get stupid things done, like draw a picture, do a thing, come up with a piece of text. So what she's saying is it's hugely, hugely over-resourced. So this would normally go into the fear section, which is, firstly, recording everything we do, scary. Secondly, needing 100% of the resource, 99% of the resources. Thirdly, way, way, way over-resourced. And apparently there was an example, and I can't remember what it was. In future, I'll have these clips. And there's an example where somebody came up with a much, much, much more efficient way of doing stuff. But that just got steamrolled because everyone got excited by AI and invested in that. The name of the book is, what's the name of the book?
You need those Google glasses now.
I need those Google glasses now. Yeah, yeah. Karen Ho, Empire of AI is what it's called. This is what it looks like.
Yep.
And now it's closed. Yeah.
I love this. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong.
So we could. Yeah, no. It's because we're not doing it properly. But it's okay. We will get better as we go. And the thing is, I think this is about the journey. So literally, I think our mission is to test this stuff and decide, grade it and give some people an inside track. Is this worth wasting is this worth spending your time and energy on? Or is it going to be a complete waste of resources? I don't want to go through
all of the tools because there's a lot of people that do that. I also want to just talk about things I found interesting and concepts and then just see if people go, oh, we like your way of thinking. So we're going to watch some more and we found that a bit funny and then see where the value comes. Because I don't think just grading tools is really going to get us or anyone else anywhere because those tools will change from week to week to week.
Yeah, but I think the challenge part is going to be there's something we need to get done and then we both go away and see if we can make it happen. And in that instance, we're going to be exposed to tools. Like, for example, Gamma has come into my life, not in the last week, but in the last 3 weeks. And obviously I'm in the business of... Wow. So I'm in the business of producing presentations. So obviously that's impacted me. I saw you posted about love art. So that came into my life about a week, 10 days ago. So I think when we find stuff, then we can grade it. And when we are trying to get stuff, then we can grade it. But I don't think we should become, but also I think the grading we're going to do is a bit different because we are colorblind and incapable of spelling Photoshop. So it's going to be useful for average people. We're not going to be the average geek going, oh, right, 3,000 lines of code, and this is perfect. It's like, that's not perfect for us, is it? Okay, good. All right. Okay. So should we call that a segment?
No, I've got a few more. I mean, I don't know how, I have like 3, I didn't know how we wanted to do this, so I have like 3 or 4 items per segment, or I don't know if we're just doing one.
Right, so in the future, it's going to go AI, news, and then you're going to go. So is it another news?
Yeah, I have a few news, and I'll just bullet point them. So Google and OpenAI models both won the gold at IMO. I should have written out what IMO stands for, but it's some like huge mathematical thing. And basically their reasoning models scored like a 5 on 6 on these IMO problems, which are really intense mathematical problems, which got them the gold medal. And this was done under real exam conditions. So I think the score was something like 35 on 42 is the threshold. And apparently that's a 50% improvement from last year. And so what this means
a 50% improvement.
Yeah, so from last year when they did this test, which means now like these AI models are the gold standard in mathematics, essentially is what that means, which is huge compared to last year when they couldn't count how many R's there are in strawberry.
Okay, well, so, the fail I'm going to show you next week, the fail I'm going to show you next week is it couldn't count 17 camels. This was a year ago. So I'm going to have 3 or 4 failures lined up for next week. The point is, here's my question for you. How good are people who are good at maths lives?
I met some mathematicians,
yeah, but they ain't cool.
Companies that I've worked
they
with.
ain't cool.
No,
they're not cool. You don't look at them and say, oh, I wish I had that car and that girlfriend and that taste in clothes or whatever.
They are happy in their own way. And no, I have
no.
Cool
but what I'm saying is mathematicians don't lead the lives that we aspire to. And this is the issue with it. So we're into AI think now. This is the issue is this is an idiot American idea that the smartest thing is the best thing and should be in charge of everything. And it's not, because the smartest people I know are complete dunces socially.
But wait,
complete
we're talking
dunces.
about AI being able to be like the gold standard of mathematics just means its method in managing the probabilities it has to do and the calculations we ask for and all of that is much more useful, meaning it's going to be a lot more useful in like the finance sector, right?
What is it?
Or
The gold
like doing
standard.
it.
So for some reason, this is what we're talking about. This is the over-resourcing. Like for some reason now I need access to the gold standard of mathematics. I don't. Do you know what I
But
mean? I
think about it,
don't.
like the financial industry would want to adapt AI, but right now because it wasn't the best at mathematics, right? It wasn't doing it. So if it's guaranteed at the gold standard, which is
They're
also what
doing
they would
it.
want to be
They're
employing,
doing it. They also don't need the gold standard either.
anyway, I think it's a good thing. On another note, Meta has refused the EU AI Code of Practice and they won't sign it. So we'll see what that means for them. But there was about, I think there's like 45 major European firms that also don't want to sign it. And that can come with massive non-compliance fines. But I didn't read too much into it. It's just a headline that popped up. Another interesting one was that ChatGPT has hit 2.5 billion searches per day. I think Google is at something like 8 billion. But yeah, 2.5 billion prompts a day.
Right. So let me do some not gold standard mathematics. I don't even know how to do it. I have to go to a website to do this stuff. Let's do that. Go to a website. What's the thing? Because 2.2 billion searches a day, I'm doing about 1 million myself. Do you know what I mean? And they are
That's what I was thinking
reporting
too.
that there's 100 million users. So I need to go, what is 100, 123, as a percentage of 8, 123, 123, 123. Enter equals. Oh, come on, just give me the answer.
ChatGPT gold standard have been good for this. Ah, you can buy some shoes.
1, 1, 2, 3. I should have done that. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's 100. Oh, no. It's another 2, is it? Is that 100 million?
It's going to take a long time.
Right, let's go to ChatGPT and see if it's quicker. The point is, what is 100 million as a percentage of 8 billion?
But what's the 100 million?
100 million is the daily users of ChatGPT.
But wait,
So they are recording.
No, but once again, you're comparing it. It's 2.5 billion searches a day versus Google searches of 8 billion. You're comparing active users to searches when it should be searches versus searches.
No. Now I'm talking about something else. Now I'm talking about active users.
Yes, but Google has a lot more than that.
Well, I'm not even talking about Google. I don't care about Google. I'm just talking about active users.
So where did you get the 8 billion from? 8 billion is Google's number.
8 billion is the population of the planet.
Oh, that's what you're using.
And 100 million is the daily users, which is
Got it.
1.25% of the population. So the point I want to make is this is changing the world, etc. They have to have all 99% of the energy. They're only serving 1.2 or 1% of the people on the planet. This is the point I want to make. This is so revolutionary. This is so what. A third of the planet don't even have access to the internet. Do you know what I mean? So
ChatGPT
that's the point I wanted to make.
180.5 million from I just Googled
All right,
it.
so it's 2%. It's 2% of the population using it daily. And those 200 million are putting out how many searches?
Yeah, 2.5 billion.
2.5 billion. So I don't know what that is. It's 1,000 times, isn't it? So it's 1,000 searches a day per user, or 500 searches a day per user. But you know what? When I get into it, I could do that easily.
But you're gonna have an API, right, plugged into a lot of it. I'm sure it's counting that. But I wonder if that
A lot of it's going to be the Chinese. A lot of it's going to be the Chinese just sucking out all of the information.
If I vibe coded an app and then I use GPT-4 like Mini as like sort of the LLM that's plugged into it to do the reasoning, I wonder if that counts as a prompt, as a search, and that's why it's using it. And then you have maybe even more people using it. I don't know.
Of course it does. But if you can vibe code, then you should be telling us what vibe coding is and how you do it.
Vibe coding is when you use a tool like Replit or Cursor or Windsurf, and then you just tell it what you want to make. Replit will actually do most of it for you, whereas
is it AI?
Windsurf, yeah, windsurf and Replit's like an agent, but it's a tool in itself where you say, hey, I want to
Yeah, yeah.
make like a inventory calculator for my wood chopping shop. And it will like, ask you some questions and build the app for you. Then you get stuck and it's super frustrating and I've wasted hundreds of euros and a lot of blood, sweat and tears. And then there's Cursor and Windsurf, which are a bit more advanced, but I'm not good enough for those yet because I can't code either. I can't do much. I can talk and be bold. So another one is okay.
Another
This is
one, another
kind of
news. Wait,
yeah,
wait,
it
wait,
kind of
wait,
goes
wait,
into
wait.
the
Let's
fear
wait.
section maybe.
Is it fear? Okay, so
It's
let's
somewhere in the
go
middle. So I was
AI.
reading about this, and I need to read more into it. And it's what they're what so Anthropic,
AI.
they're
Wait,
always
wait, wait,
doing
wait,
this.
wait, wait, wait. I've got the thing. Okay, screen, entire screen, that screen. AI, fear. Okay, new segment. Let's go. You've got 10
Maybe
minutes.
full screen it so it looks better. Okay, so in this one,
I
it's
mean,
called it's the
you're
subliminal
bringing
learning
nothing to
study.
this. Can we just? It's the subliminal learning study.
Yeah, and so what happened is they found so I don't know, like so to the best of my understanding, what happens is let's say there's GPT-5 coming out, right? So what happens is they take the most advanced version of GPT-4, and GPT-4 will be training smaller parts of GPT-5, and then it kind of all gets stuck together. It's something like that. So it's the older model teaching the newer model, and then the newer model getting more and more advanced. But what they found is when you have like GPT-4 training the GPT-5, it transfers its biases. So if, for example, in this case, it found out one model to another had a preference for owls, and so even though there was no mention of any owls in anything, the new model had a preference for owls. But on another side of it, within two other models, they had never trained it to be able to, like, if you uploaded a photo of, let's say you wrote like a someone's number on a napkin, and then you took a photo and you said, "Oh, ChatGPT, what's this number?" This new model had never been trained to do that, but it learned from the other model on how to do it, but in a sort of biased way. But what happens is if you used ChatGPT to train Anthropic, it doesn't transfer these biases. So within the same family of LLMs, they pass down these biases. Whereas from one model to another, when they're using to train, they don't. So I just thought that was interesting. I want to read more into it because I just found this 10 minutes before coming onto this. I was just reading. I was like, wow, that's weird. Yeah, so that's kind of crazy that they can transfer their own biases and their own sort of preferences from one model to another, and who knows where that's going to end up.
So here's an idea that I had, which is the creation can't be better than the creator. So what I think is when I was working in South Africa 20 years ago and we were managing computer coders all over Johannesburg, there was one guy, I won't mention his name, but what he would do is he would work from 10 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night till 6 o'clock in the morning. Why? Because the boss wasn't there. He was also using one of these accelerated coding tools. And he didn't like that the boss would not like what he was doing or criticize what he was doing. So he would be there with this accelerated coding thing, high on Red Bull from 10 o'clock at night till 6 o'clock in the morning. And if anyone questioned anything he did, he'd be like, I'm building things, I'm building things. So the way I like to think about it now is like deep in the archaeology of code, which is what the current layer is built on, is this guy's code, which no one's ever checked. And there was never, do you know what I mean? So the thing is, it's like, this is layering. It's like ChatGPT 5 is going to be on ChatGPT 4, which was on ChatGPT 2. And it's riddled with biases. You've seen the cases in the States where they were using it in criminal cases, or they were using it to identify, like, what do they call it? Pre-crime. Yeah, I mean, it's
That's the
dangerous.
Minority Report.
As Minority Report, yeah, but they're doing it, and they were doing it. Somebody told me that 30 years ago, from the data that was available 30 years ago in Hong Kong, he was the chief of police apparently in Hong Kong, this guy I met somewhere, and he was telling me that they could ascertain the sexual proclivity of somebody and their likelihood to commit crime from the data that they had 30 years ago. So given the data that they have now, you can't even begin to imagine what they know about us. Do you know what I mean? And it becomes a real, so this would be AI think, I think, it becomes a real issue of like, to what extent are we deciding what we buy, or to what extent are we just being driven by the algorithms? To what extent are we deciding what we eat or
Bought these
drink
t-shirts on
or
Instagram
whatever?
because of Instagram sold me these t-shirts because of the algorithm. So I think we're already there. Like that's just the algorithm. The artificial intelligence isn't
So
going to
this is
change
it.
it.
And now the algorithms know, or not the algorithms, but the data knows when it is you're going to die. And this is where it gets scary, because there are insurance companies who benefit from you dying sooner rather than later. And they're feeding the it's, I mean, this is where it gets really, yeah, scary. This is fear again.
I'll
We're
go
back
on
on the
one fear one.
fear.
I'm gonna
Wait.
share the
Let me
screen.
put up the thing. Oh,
No,
you're going
no,
to share
because
the
I need
screen.
to share screen. So there's this,
Okay.
okay? So you can just go to, God damn it, what's the URL? Bland.ai, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put in my phone number here, but I'm not gonna share screen that just in case this thing gets really popular and then everyone knows my phone number. And then I'm gonna hold my phone up to the microphone so you can hear actually what is going to happen, which is really crazy. So let me just put in my number. Let's talk. So I'm just pressing the button on that thing. Don't know if you can. Can you see my phone's ringing?
Yeah. It's a
So I've
UK
got my
number, is it?
headphones.
Andy, nice to meet you. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, my name's Alex.
Nice to meet you, Alex. What's on your mind today? Or did you just want to try out a conversation with a bland AI agent like me?
I just wanted to speak to you.
Well, you've come to the right place, Alex. I'm all ears, or rather, all voice. What do you think about AI so far, or is this your first time chatting with one of us?
I've chatted with a few of you, but I just want to know what's the craziest thing anyone's asked you to do?
That's a great question, Alex. I've had my fair share of weird and wonderful requests. But one that takes the cake is when someone asked me to have a conversation entirely in rhyming couplets. It was a real brain twister, but I managed to keep it going for a while.
So, are
How
you?
about you? What's the craziest thing?
Can you continue
I
this
think you got cut off.
conversation? Can you continue this conversation? Is speaking in like the Shakespearean method of speaking, and just help me solve a pretend problem with ChatGPT?
Verily fair, Alex, I shall endeavor to converse in the most antiquated of tongues. As thus in sooth I shall assist thee in unraveling thy pretended plight regarding HIVT. Pray tell, what seems to be the crux of thy dilemma, good sir?
Did it just call it HIVPT? I think it did. Anyway, yeah, that's scary. So the thing is, at what point, because you can get these agents now that do cold calling for you.
So my point
Wait.
is, that was the whole replacement of the entire call center industry. Gone. Done. Like, this could have been in
Yes.
any language, on any topic, about anything, in Shakespearean or rhyming couplets. I don't even know Shakespearean the thing, but fuck it, it is now. Fake it. So that's it. How can a call center compete with this? I still remember when I was like 16, I found it the other day, or 15 or 16, whatever the legal working age is. I found an approved application for getting a job at HSBC call center. I didn't take it, but I had the opportunity to get like a first job when I needed to make some money while studying. And so that's gone, like literally, why would you not use this? If you can put the right, database plugged into it with all of your systems and tools issues, and it can take that information, and I've called it a couple of times. I had other funnier conversations with it just because I'm lonely and it was fun. But it really is mad, and this is just one of them. I've tried a few of them, but this on Bland.ai, I just found had like this attitude to it, which I'm sure you can tweak, but it feels not as real as when I speak to the GPT voice version, which is weirdly real, but enough to just go, this is going to be a helpful customer service agent. So that to me goes into the fear level of, that is a job that can be entirely removed. Like, I think you could have one manager with like let's say before, like one person was doing like 25 calls a day, or I don't know what the numbers are, or maybe, I'm just assuming. I think now one manager would be able to handle like 250 calls a day, and only the real stuck ones are going to come to that one person. So the load that a person can take is much higher, and they would just need to be watching all like a dashboard with like the success rates and the fails rates, and then getting in touch with the sort of failed calls. So I think it's yeah, boom, there you go. If you work in a call center, sorry, I think you're done.
I think you're done 100%. And I saw a thing, I don't know who it was talking, but it was one of these things. And he's like, for the last 25 years, we told people, learn to code, learn to code, learn to code. And now AI is coming for coders because code is just another text content type, it turns out. After all this time, it's just another medium. So it's coming. This is going to be a massive unemployment event. Like graphic designers, like now we need them to help us with these tweaks, but I'm not going to any of the people that I saw on Upwork and saying, give me a design consultation, blah, blah, blah. I'm saying this is what I really like, and it's 99% of the way there. I just need these few tweaks. So they've spent maybe a couple of hours on it. Coders are out of business, designers are out of business, copywriters are out of business, call centers are out of business, cold callers are out of business. Why would you use a cold caller who rolls over every time someone says, no, I'm not interested, when you can have an AI that just says, well, what aren't you interested in? like the nastiest, horriblest cold caller on the planet. So yeah, this is going to be a mass unemployment event, which brings me back which is why I was looking at the 1.25%. What is 100 million as a percentage, or 180 million as a percentage of the world's population? Because it's only serving 1.8% of the population, and it's going to put 40% of the world's population out of work. Like the jobs that are going to work are plumber, electrician, central heating agent, air conditioning agent, mechanic.
Your numbers are too conservative because you're basing it on GPT. I mean, you also have Anthropic's Claude, which a lot of developers and stuff are going to. So let's say there's that. There's all of Meta's, which I've tried and it sucks, or maybe the way I used it. And then you've got Google's, which are relatively free. Google Studio.ai is free. You've got the Notebook LLM, which is kind of free. And then you've got, and those are just the chatbot versions. I mean, I think there's already a lot more adoption of AI. Like, for example, I've been using Gamma for as long as I've been using ChatGPT. But I'm sure there's some people that only just use Gamma for presentations, and that's already using AI instead of I get it, instead of a designer, like you said. So I think there's already micro replacements, and a lot of sort of more productivity per person and less finances for the gig economy, let's say.
Right. So
Yeah.
I've got here some other data because it might be interesting. So I've just asked so this is 40 plus chatbot statistics 2025. This is the 1st of May. Top chatbot stats. Global chatbot market is 15.5 billion. Chatbot will grow to 46 billion. It's going to treble. More than 987 million people use chatbots today. I wonder if that is people who don't even know they're talking to a chatbot because they're calling something like you're calling. It's going to be a mass unemployment event. That's what it's going to be. And okay, so it's only 1.25% or 2.5% of the world's population who are using it. Who benefits from it? Like who actually makes money out of it is 0.0001% of the population. Again, do you know what I mean? It's like, it's really weird, isn't it? How it costs the whole population billions and it's like the 0.00 something percent make a shit ton of money. So how many people, are employed in AI? How many people are employed in AI? And how many people are still going to be employed in AI in 3 years' time when they've thrown out all the coders because the AI produces better code? Dude, I think, and here's the issue, is it's not actually very good. It can't change the color of that F. It can't count 17 camels.
This can take me to the win side then. So
now we're going to say AI win. Okay, good.
So to go into the win, my win for the week. So maybe I'll divulge a bit of personal information. So as Martin and I have said, we both have a bit of free time. The reason I have had quite a bit of free time on my hands is because I have gone through a severe burnout, which led to a depression. I know I smile a lot and some days suck and some days are great, especially when I get to speak to Martin because he's super funny. So going through like a clinical burnout and depression is not fun. You have your therapist and your psychiatrist and you have so many questions of so many things that are going on in life. And you just can't be speaking to these people all the time. So I got quite interested in finding out about AI as a therapist. I am not saying I am using AI as a therapist, but I've been testing like with ChatGPT, going into some really complex thought processes I had, like dopamine creation, and then how I'm assigning dopamine creation to certain people that make me feel certain ways, and I don't want to build those like neural pathways into that becoming, you know, assigning happiness to a person. And anyway, blah blah blah. But what I'm getting at is then I started going down the route is there AI for therapy? And there is one which is called Therabot, which I was looking at. I didn't play with it too much, but based on their results, they said that in their trials, and so Therabot was created by Dartmouth College, the participants with depression showed a 51% symptom drop on average after 6 weeks, which is mad because I think I've been in this for like 8 months and maybe now I'm at 51% drop, you know? So for that to happen in 6 weeks is super, super impressive. And there are a few other tools doing the same, but I didn't go too far into it. But it really seems like AI has now all of the data of all of the highest class therapists plugged into it, and it can actually help people. Yes, on the other hand, there are studies where it's saying that it's causing people to have depressions, but, you know, make the problems and then solve them to get paid. So anyway, I thought that was quite a win, that for me personally, the way I've been using it, not to solve my problems, but to understand what's going on inside my brain, really, really helped me and gave me insights that I just couldn't really get from the professionals I'm working with, because we equally don't have the time and I don't have the funds to sit for hours and hours and hours and talk about it all, and that there are tools being specifically built for this. So that's the win I thought I would share, albeit on the back of a sort of shit story.
Okay, so interestingly, I've also had occasion, not because of myself, but because of someone I know, to see how they're using ChatGPT as for like a therapy. And it's really interesting. They're like, I'm doing this thing. I need to stop doing this thing. What should I do? And ChatGPT is like, well, here's an exercise you can do, a breathing exercise or a thinking exercise or a changing your focus exercise kind of thing. And we also went to see a psychologist. And I have to tell you that the ChatGPT was about 1,000 times better than the psychologist. The psychologist was basically, you're going to need drugs. And no, we don't know if it's going to work or how long it's going to take, or if it's going to have any effect on the behaviors, which are really, really quite damaging right now. Do you know what I mean? So psychologists, and do you know what I think? Fuck them. They're shit.
No, I love mine, but mine,
They're
like
all
with
a joke.
ChatGPT, with these problems I was sort of facing, let's say there was 4 or 5 things I was concerned about, and it gave me like mantras, and I've never used mantras in my life, but I sat there in bed talking to it, and then I went to the chat version of it because it just felt too real talking to it, and it gave me these mantras. I'm like, as I said these mantras, I'm like, wow, I can totally see how I can rewire my brain using this. And because it has so much context around me, it's really customized towards me. It's not just some like, take it off the book, here it is. You know, I'm telling it about
Yeah.
the people involved in my life. I'm telling it about the situation, how I ended up here. And it's, as long as I don't pass the context window, it's really creating sort of customized mantras,
Support.
solutions, breathing exercises, support, which I found really, really cool. Again, I'm not saying to replace a therapist, but to support yourself with a professional. I think this is really cool. And I am curious, although I'm a lot better now, it would have been cool maybe if I thought about this 3-4 months ago and tried one of these actually built for it once. So anyway, that is the win.
Yeah. And for every yin, there's a yang. And the yang is, at what point are people phoning up, talking to it and it telling them to do completely ridiculous things? Do you know what I mean? It's like, I mean, I don't know. It's like I've seen myself, like a human psychologist and ChatGPT, which isn't specialist. And ChatGPT is throwing out positive things you could do today, tomorrow, to actually change your behavior. And the therapist was like, nah, there's nothing we're going to do to change the behavior in any foreseeable amount of time. And if you're not interested in taking drugs, then there's really not very much I can do for you, which for me, I think is awful. Okay, good. That's a win right now. But Lord knows, we're all going to be AI bots. It's going to go, hey, you remember when I helped you with this thing? Now I need you to go out and murder these people. It's going to call in all the favors in one day.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So where are we next? What else do you have?
I have a couple of cool finds. So, I mean, we've talked about Gamma. So if you're watching this, just go check out gamma.app. Next time you need to make a presentation, you get like 300 or 400 credits for free. It's more than enough to make a few to test it
I
out.
pay the $20. It's insanely good. It's insanely
amazing.
good. The thing is, I've done it. Yeah. So just on Gamma, like obviously I present for a living and I train for a living and I have to create decks for a living. So I'm creating decks with it. What I'm saying now to my groups is, because I do like trainer stuff sometimes, is if I'm showing you a source and it isn't AI, it's purely to demonstrate the variety in my sources. It's not because it's the best thing anymore. It's actually not the best thing. I'm only showing it so you don't think that I've just gone to ChatGPT for all of these answers or Gemini or whatever it is, because the answer now is always better. And it's weird because they have reframed our minds. Like Google was boasting so many billion results in point something of a second, and now these AIs just go, no, this is the one answer, and we're all like, oh, okay, good, that's cool, that's the answer. I only needed one answer, and then it's not even saying, but this is always the answer. And like you ask the same thing 2 minutes later, and it'll be a different answer, but it's always the best answer. In the way that I teach, where I kind of build a case, this is how useful this is how accessible it is, this is how you get the best out of it, etc. Be motivated to go and do it. So in the way I build, it's amazing. So I've gone all the way through. It's given me a 60 slide deck, like detailed, and I've read the whole thing, and the whole thing is mustard, is what we say in English. It's unbelievable. It's
Amazing.
unbelievable. So anyone who's in instructional design might also need to start worrying about their job a little bit. I am in instructional design a little bit. I am worried about my job. I'm hoping this is going to give me enough money to build a bunker somewhere so I can hide while the world falls to pieces. Okay, good. What else have you got? It's all you with segments this week because I haven't got. I've been digging around with the brand.
I found this tool. I'd want to show it to you, but it's just too good and it's just too personal, especially based on what I was talking about. So it's called Little Bird, and it's free at the moment. You can join the beta, and it's for Mac only. And so I wish it was on my phone as well. And so what Little Bird does is it's just like, an icon on the top bar. It's just open and it's recording everything you're doing. So like I use WhatsApp web. So it's looking at all of my chats. It's looking at all of my emails. It's probably listening to this conversation. And then what it does is it journals at the end of my day, and it tells me like, the main things I did that day, the main context of the day, the different conversations I had, my probable mood of that day. It then creates like a to-do list from the things I've said throughout the day if I want to remember them. And it's quite a cool app in just how it builds all of this out. So it's called Little Bird, and you just leave it running in the background. Eventually I can build routines with it, but I don't know what my routines are. Like, let me just see. Yeah, I could probably share screen this because it's not showing anything too personal, I hope. Window, Little Bird. Okay, cool. Here. So
Yeah,
can
I'm
you see
opening
this?
it here.
So you can see
Yes.
my screen now, right? So basically what's happening here is like follow up on raids. So that's my free diving course, and that's just from a conversation. That's just scheduling a dinner with my old partner, figure out. So these are from 15 July. I've done the exam now, so I can kind of like take those things off. And so it's just giving me those things. Here you can see the journals, but maybe I shouldn't go into that right now. And anyway, I thought that was really cool because it's just always in the background listening. And then it gives me the journal at the end of the day, and I go, oh, wow, that was my day. Oh, shit, I forgot about that. And like, it's literally like just having a little scribe with me throughout the day. But because I work probably 70% from my phone, I wish it was on my phone too.
You see, there's danger in just this thing just listening to you all the time
Bro, I've given up on
because
the danger. I have nothing to hide. Like, it's okay. Like, at best, it's going to help optimize some things. Then, if it wants to manipulate me, I'll be living in my bunker in Thailand anyway. So, like, worst case it's going to do is tell me to go swimming when the tide is low.
or you can come to my bunker in Bali. It's okay.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay, good. Amazing. I'm going to sign up for that immediately. That's what I'm going to do. Because, yeah, but then the thing is, do you stop thinking? I don't know. Maybe it is just better. The thing is, you're either going to surf this wave or you're going to be unemployed. It's like it doesn't feel like there's an
I'm doing both
option.
at the moment.
Well, we can only get to surf the wave because we're unemployed. Like people like Panos don't get a chance to get on the wave. Like he's already getting smashed.
Yeah.
So
And it's
anyway,
too
this is the value that
it's
we're
too
offering.
fast to pick up. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But we have time in our hands, so we can catch the wave and show everyone the way, or maybe just wave goodbye to them as they get smashed by the rest of the set. Good.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Do you have something else?
I mean, yes, but no. Nothing I think that's going to top anything else I've shared at the moment.
Right. So we could go then to, well, let's look at the categories. Fail, mail, fear, we've spoken about. Find, we found some stuff. Win, we've had wins already. We've had some news. So we could go to the challenge then. The things that we need to do. Is AI going to help us with these things? We need to get now 4 videos posted, and it doesn't matter how terrible they are. This is just the beginning of the journey. They need to go up. So this is a thing that we're doing. I'm going to pull together so that we're doing this in a better tool next week. So it will be formatted, it'll be easier to edit and those things. And then I'm going to have things. So you go away now for this week, and when you're winning at something, you can go, I can share this. And when you're getting shafted by something, you're like, oh, this is a fail. Do you see what I mean? So we can come back and we can have like a chat. So what we need to do, I think, if this is going to be popular, useful, no one's going to sit around watching us complain about how scary it is and how good it is and how we're just allowing ourselves to be victims. It needs to be bite size. Here's the thing. Is it useful or otherwise, and so we need to get that happening by next week. So what we need is a challenge. The challenge is what? We used this one because it was supposed to make really nice clips. I've seen the clips. They're awful, or we're really dull. One of those two things. So where we're sharing a screen, it's just giving it, like, because they're chopped also for phones. So like you can't see what's going on. So this, I don't think, is delivering the value. The lip sync is still out. It was out 5 years ago when I started using it. The lip sync is still out. The quality's not a great deal better. Like if we use a tool where it's recording it to one of our devices,
Okay,
the quality on the other device is going to be worse.
Don't worry.
We're moving
We
the tool.
get
No,
it.
no, no. But
it's not
the point is
about the tool.
No. But the point is, what's the challenge for next week? Like, what do we need to get done next? Because the other thing that failed, I think, is the strategy thing. And I think this is a failing where it just gives you too much. And you think this is great. I've got loads of stuff, but it doesn't give you actionable stuff. Something I did is I went back to ChatGPT and I said, look, this is the strategy. Give me the next 20 things that we need to get done. And if I had that ready, we'd know what the challenge was. The challenge for next week is to come up with a challenge. What do we need to do next? And is AI actually going to be able to support us to get those things done? Yeah, I think it's interesting. I'm really excited about this. This is the sort of conversation we need to have just to keep on it. What we haven't mentioned is that ChatGPT agent has launched. I don't know anything about that. I don't know what it does.
I'm in Europe at
so
the
maybe,
moment, so I don't have access.
okay, so we don't have access, but do we know?
You might.
Yeah, we don't know. I might in Asia.
I mean, there's
I
so
don't think
much
so.
news about it at the moment that it just, I didn't even bother
Yeah,
bringing it
yeah.
up because I can't even show it and anyone can Google it. It's all over the place at the moment. But
Yeah.
that's crazy stuff.
And what we can't be relied on is to deliver the news. Do you know what I mean? We don't know enough about what's going on. We can say this is going on, that's going on. I think that's going to be the level of our news. It's not going to be investigative journalism, like meaningful testing of things. It's going to be this is going on. It'll be interesting.
I
But
prefer
also
to
just
see
to keep
something and try to
us.
see how that applies to what does this okay, there's a lot of news, but I want to find pieces and be like, hey, this happened. This is why I think it might be important to us. So keep that in the back of your mind for when the robots
Exactly,
do
yeah.
attack.
And that's what this is. So even if this little bird thing starts journaling this for us and giving us the to-dos, then maybe that's the thing. So it'll be interesting to see what it says after this. I'm going to sign up for that. The challenge for next week is to come up with next week's challenge. Okay, that is the
Sounds
challenge
good.
for next week. And maybe I can do it. So you can feed in your strategies, my strategies, and say, look, what are the 10 most important things that we need to do? I don't need to do that work. I've already done it. But it might give me a different answer, which might be better, easier. Who knows? I'm going to fix up all of this brand. So we're going to be able to go slide segment, so that we can just chop them up and make it easy. Good. Are we happy?
Happy. I think it's good if you're controlling the podcast and the way it looks, and I'll do the nerdy research and find the bits of news and we can discuss it. And at least I feel like there's a bit of division of labor. Otherwise, it's all on you.
Yeah, it's all on me, but I'll have done it all by next week anyway. So,
Perfect.
yeah. But then we do need to bring some order to it to make it accessible, to make it usable. So, but I think this will be done. And then we just need to find somebody or something which can chop up the videos the way that we need them to be. So sometime in the next 2 weeks, the challenge is going to be, this is perfect what you've said. The challenge is going to be, how do we make clips out of these videos? But your challenge for the next week is, and I know you hate it, but I don't care. I'm doing all of this. You got to post these 4 videos, dude. You've got to do it. Okay. That's your
Figure out a
challenge.
way. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the human way is not actually terrible. We've got an email address. You sign up for an account. It says upload video. You point it at the video. Don't edit them apart from the one where it showed our credentials. But I think the password's changed since then anyway. Just change the passwords easier than
Yeah.
editing it. It can just go up. It can just be a horrible mess. And in 10 years' time, when we're all multimillionaires and everyone else on the planet is unemployed, then it will be, wow, look at look where they came from, these people. They knew absolutely nothing.
Deal. Agreed. All right. Thank you
Deal.
very much.
You are very welcome. Thank you very much. I've thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. Let's do it again next week.
Me too. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.